This new model of memory does have big ethical implications. I think it's important to address these head on. It's not a trivial fact that our memories are phony and dishonest, or that they are corrupted by the very act of remembering them. This also suggests, by the way, that the only honest memories we have, the only memories that are true to the original event, are those we can't actually remember, those we've forgotten, those we haven't thought about in years and years. One of my favorite examples is the paper that just came out a couple weeks ago, was a study by Liz Loftus, who's also at NYU. She looked at people's flashbulb memories, so very emotional memories of 9/11. She began the study a few weeks after 9/11. She interviewed several hundred people in New York City and asked them to describe their day, asked them to describe where they were, what they saw, what they were feeling on 9/11, and people just poured out. She talks about it as if it were a therapy session, that people were just so eager to share their stories that they gave her all sorts of details, and some of these descriptions of what people were doing on 9/11 filled page after page after page, thousands of words. And what she's done every few years since then is she's checked back in. She's gone and seen if people still have these same memories, they still tell the same stories about 9/11. The conventional wisdom in neuroscience and psychology has long been that flashbulb memories, those very emotional memories we have of where we were when the Challenger blew up, or where we were in the Kennedy assassination, or where we were on 9/11, that those are almost seared into the cortex. You know, they are really embedded in the brain at a very fundamental level, so perhaps they're more accurate, perhaps they're more trustworthy. But what Loftus found is that these memories aren't more trustworthy at all. She has slowly mapped the decay, at least from the perspective of fidelity, of 9/11 memories over time. So after a few years, the memories were about 85% honest. People still told the same general stories. The stories, maybe they left out some details which weren't so interesting. They left out some facts which made the story a little less dramatic. That people tend to be biased in their storytelling towards a particular approach. You know, they wanted the story to be better. It's not particularly shocking because everyone likes talking about their 9/11 story, where they were, especially if you're in New York City. But what she found is that after 10 years of having this flashbulb memory, carrying it around, telling people again and again where you were on that horrible, awful day, about 60% of the details had changed. 60% of the details that people filled their story with, and some of these details were quite essential. They weren't errant details at all, had been completely altered, that people were, in essence, telling a completely different story. And this is a memory we all carry around. This is a memory we all live with, and we all assume it's true. And yet, research like Liz Loftus, research she's done of flashbulb memory suggests they are no more true than any other memory, and in fact, they may even be a little bit less true. I think this does force us to go back and look at eyewitness testimony in the legal system, because one of the most troubling things about our misinformation, the fact that you can quite easily implant false memories in our head, is that even when the memories are false, even when we're telling stories about 9/11, which never happened, or the stories have been pretty fundamentally altered, the stories feel true. People have no awareness of lying. I mean, this is I think, one of the most paradoxical facts about memory, that even though we're discovering our memories are inherently dishonest, we still tell our memories with genuine conviction, sincere conviction. This is because our recollections are deeply cynical things, that they are designed by the brain to always feel true, regardless of whether or not they actually occurred. Now, as I said, I do think this has big implications for eyewitness testimony. I mean, right now, perjury is a crime. It's a serious crime. You can go to jail, spend some real time in jail for perjury. And we do that for the obvious reason that people lying under oath, given the priority we give to eyewitness testimony in the legal system, if people start lying under oath, that can really mess things up. That can ruin a trial and undermine the entire legitimacy of the judicial system. However, perjury is defined as knowingly making a false statement. Merely misremembering is not a crime. And what the new science of memory teaches us is that most of our misremembering sins are not conscious at all. They are accidental byproducts of remembering itself. We lie, but we think we're telling the truth.